Where are you from?
We'll go right at the back there, okay?
Germany. Good. Hello. Welcome. The red flag, and that's Tower Hill. That's the flag of the Merchant Navy, not the warships, the Merchant Navy. This is Tower Hill, where most people were beheaded. If you were royal, like Two Henry VIII's wives, you were beheaded in the tower. Everyone else was dragged across the road to the Tower of London to be beheaded. So, very historic area here on our right. Now, ahead of you, you've got the church called All Hallows by the Tower. It's here during the Great Fire of London, but the original church on this site was built in 675, the oldest church site in London. This is a more modern one, but it's still hundreds of years old. Now, just ahead of you, if anyone can hear above all the talking, just ahead of you on the left, by the edge of the road, you've got the dragon with a shield on top of the column. So that's the symbol of the City of London, the original Roman London. It's telling us we're going back into the city territory. City with the capital C, the original London, the Roman London, and the centre of the finance industry. With the Lord Mayor, its own police and local government, and historic rights and privileges. So just on your left, coming up after the traffic light, there's the dragon with a shield. 1, 2, 3, there he is. That tells us we're going back into the City of London, which is where we are now. The pub ahead of you is called the Hunjall Reporter. That's a very odd name for a pub because it was a particularly unpleasant way of killing traitors. We won't go into that. On we go. On we go. Good, good, good. So ahead of us, you've got the old customs house from when it was a busy working river. Now it's not, it's just tourist traffic, as we were saying earlier. Just got on board. Where hoteliers and restaurateurs bought the fish. It's now derelict. They have pop-up events there, but it's basically derelict. I don't know why. It should be a very nice arts centre. It's a very big building, just after the lights on your left. And it should be, we'll have cafes and restaurants and cinemas and theatres, but it's just empty. Nice big building right by the river. Why is they're now wired for electricity, but they were originally gas lamps, and they're all still there on the bridge. So if you look on your left, it's called Southwark Bridge, one of the less well-known bridges. And there's lamps on either side of the road. Now we're going down a very noisy tunnel, noisy upstairs anyway, and at the other end of it's Blackfriars Railway Bridge, then Road Bridge, and they're named after Blackfriars Monastery. Henry VIII shut it down in the 1530s. Part of it was converted into Shakespeare's only indoor theatre. Most of the plays were an outdoor theatre. They had an indoor one called Blackfriars. The theatre and the monastery building are long since demolished, but at the end of this road, on the right-hand side, is a road called Shakespeare's Yard, which commemorates the theatre that used to be there. So very noisy for about 20 seconds, just coming up now. There's the river. Now the river used to go all the way over to your right. In 1860 the government got Sir Joseph Bazalgette, a civil engineer, to push the river to your left. This is all reclaimed land. It's called the embankment, and under this road is where Bazalgette built the modern London sewers. So the main sewer system for London is under this road. Now we're going to be leaving the city again in a minute. Another unnecessary siren, very annoying. We're going to be leaving the City of London. It's only a square mile, remember, and ahead of you, near the traffic lights ahead of you, you're going to see a dragon with its back to you, holding a shield, silver dragon, a very big silver dragon. That tells us we're leaving the City of London, going back into mainstream London. Just coming up now, River Thames. There's the dragon, there's Old Father Thames. And onto the far side of the gardens. So ahead of us, you've got a building in a second, and then there's a gap between the buildings. Now, if you look through the gap, polished with the gates there. The river's now on there. Look to your right now. Look to your right. Look through there. Look past the flags. See the old archway? There we are. The river went all the way up there. So it was a totally, thank you Sly, it was a totally different landscape before 1860. We were here in 1859, we'd be drowning in the river. So very, very different landscape before Joseph Hazeltine took the river to the left and built the sewers under here. This is Hungerford Railway Bridge, going to Charing Cross, which is the station on the right. We walk down the inside of the railway bridge. Our next bus stop is at the end of this road. It's a bit of a slow traffic because there's very short green lights at the end. And there's a bus stop at the end here. If you want the river cruise to go back to the town, this will be your bus stop. Otherwise, you could walk over Westminster Bridge and then get to the line. Yeah. No, he's going to stop the train. So this is the Ministry of Defence on the right, very big building. Very elegant statue on your right, the airman with the wings. Very elegant statue. So on we go. And after this building, we've got another stone building. That's the Metropolitan Police Headquarters for New Scotland Yard. You see there's a glass case with a light on, and inside there's a bust of Sir Robert Peel, who founded the Metropolitan Police in 1829. That's why they're called Bobbies, after Sir Robert or Bob Peel, which is where the Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard was behind it, the original Victorian bus. So it's historic lights. So the eternal flame there, who died before St. Peter. So we're coming up to a bus stop. Anyone wants to get off here, this is your bus stop. And there's Big Ben. So we're going past Big Ben now. Now, after Big Ben, if you look on your left, after Big Ben, you'll see a big window. That's a window of Westminster Hall, the only medieval bit of Parliament that survived the 1834 fire. Just on your left. And this is where the Queen's coffin was for several days before her funeral over there at Westminster Abbey. 250,000 people passed to pay their respects. At one point, the queue went all the way back down the river to the Tower of London. So we're going to turn right here into Whitehall. Big statue of Churchill ahead of you. It ought to be floodlit at night, but it isn't. I don't know why. Whitehall. I saw these cars get out of the way. They've gone through the red light. They always go through red lights around here. We need to have a policeman on the road junction, really. Here we go. So there's a bus stop coming up. And then we're carrying up Whitehall into Trafalgar Square, named after the Battle of Trafalgar, won by Nelson in 1805, but he was killed in the battle. They brought his body back to St Paul's Cathedral for burial. You'll see Nelson's column and his statue on top. This is the cenotaph ahead of you by Sir Edward Lutyens, went up in 1920 to commemorate the dead of World War I. Now it commemorates all our war dead. In November we'll have the annual service of remembrance by the cenotaph on your right. On your left, by the trees, you've got the security gates of Downing Street. The Prime Minister lives at number 10. It's the grey building at the end of Downing Street. You can't see it very well because of the angle. Horse guards on your left. You see the big sentry boxes. During the day, you've got the cavalry on sentry duty on the horses, but they've gone in by now. This is an old cavalry office, horse guards. The parade ground is through there on the other side where they do the King's birthday parade every June. And coming up, you'll see Nelson's column and Nelson's statue on the top, and the whole of the far side of Next bus stop is just round the corner after a traffic light or two, and it's opposite the Canadian High Commission. You can see that ahead of you on the right called the Maple Leaf flag. If for a Commonwealth country you have a High Commission generally, not an embassy, but it's the same thing. And you have a High Commissioner, not an ambassador, but it's the same thing. So our bus stop just ahead of us on the left. If anyone wants Trafalgar Square or to walk through Trafalgar Square to Covent Garden, this would be your bus stop. Now, our next we got anyone from America on board? No? That's unusual. Never mind. Now look at all this traffic, very poor traffic. So this is going to take us up to Piccadilly Circus. We turn left into Piccadilly. Piccadilly's a nice road. Just called Piccadilly, not Piccadilly Road, Street or Avenue, so I hope we can turn right here. Look at all this traffic. Some cars in front of us haven't realised they can't go into Pall Mall, so they're now blocking us, so it's all a bit boring really, never mind. Come on people, come on people. Right, we're almost there. Good. Now the area on your left, once you're off this main street, the area on your left is called St James's, very historic, old-fashioned English gentleman area. The north boundary of St James's is Piccadilly. North of Piccadilly becomes Mayfair, which is a very big, smart area, much bigger than St James's. Gentleman type street, that's on your left. We could go past it to the circus, which will be on your right, with Eros, god of love, firing his bow and arrow, and we're going to turn left. And this is our bus stop coming up on the left, so this is Waterstones. It used to be Simpsons of Piccadilly, gave the idea to Jeremy Lloyd for Grace Brothers and all those wonderful characters.